Welcome everyone, Rowdy is back, and it's time for the weekly preview for the week of August 10th. The Kingdom of the Week is Forest of Thorns, and the first thing I always like to do is, should I spend my event keys? Well, you have two mythics you can get this week. King Bloodwood, which does heavy splash damage, boosted by entangled and bleeding enemies, and steals life from all enemies, and does entangle and bleed on a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. There's some good teams with King Bloodwood out there. You don't see it much in PvP. I don't use it very often, and it doesn't scale well in Delves, but still a fairly good troop. Now, Yasmin's Chosen. She does scatter damage boosted by entangled enemies and creates red gems, 10 of them. That's quite a bit. And entangles a random enemy when matching green. I've used her in a couple delves. Pretty useful if you like entangle. And also, if you do Green Guild Wars, she was always in my Green Guild Wars team, along with Forest Guardian, and I can't remember who else, but... And then we get to our legendaries. Gloomleaf, you don't see him used much. King Avalorn, definitely. He gives 50% mana start to all elves, and you always see him, almost always see him, in those lovely life and death teams in PvP. He's a pretty useful troop. He does AoE damage, boosted by elves, elementals, and beasts. Summons a Forest of Thorns troop. Pardon me, I misspoke almost. And Sylvana Mora, I've seen a couple people that have done level 500 delves with this in the back, because he entangles the first enemy on 4 or 5 gem matches, so you always have entangle as long as that troop is not immune. And that's pretty useful, and he does generate some mana by exploding a column, and does some AoE damage as well. How many keys would I use this week? Depends on how many you have. With the chance to get Yasmin, I would go middle of the road use of keys. I wouldn't spend all my keys on this one. But anyways, this is just my opinion. Why don't we move on? And this week, we have a new world event. Yay. And it's called a Thorny Problem. And it's going to be a spell damage medal this week. 160%. If you buy through the weapon tier, which is usually tier 4, you'll always start with 1 medal. And let's see, that weapon is called Hammer of Force, and it's a red-yellow. It does spell damage and has a 4% chance to kill, boosted by elemental enemies. So I think we're fighting elementals this week. And let's see, that's a 4 times boost for each enemy. The glory troop this week is Lord Belinore, who is an elf beast, and he's a green-brown. So if you need those arcane trait stones, stock up. And I will give you his spell. It's magic +3 to an enemy and an enemy below him, boosted by Forest of Thorn allies on a 4 times boost ratio. And his only useful trait is he has a 50% mana start. Let's see, Tuesday faction event is Werewolves, and that is green-red. So you could go Shield of Verskaya and put Tesla in there, and you could also run Mountain Crusher, Tina, something like that, True Damage, Arachnian Weaver, and you could even top it off with Leprechaun. That's probably my plan. And Wednesday, the pet is Orio. You know, that red and yellow goofy looking one. Anyways, and our Thursday event is Archer. We have no weekend event, it looks like, planned. So it's going to be a pretty quiet week. We're week 4 into the campaign. Each week's taken just a little bit longer. This one shouldn't be too bad, though. You've still got next week and then 6 more weeks to decide whether you want to buy your Elite Pass to get the Shade of... or I'm not Shade, Kurandara. And it looks like pretty shortly after the event is done, the Heart of Rage is going into the Vault pool. So, you'll need to pull that for the Enraged Kurandara. Looks like that's going to be a recipe there. Anyways, that's all I have. I hope that helped. If it did, throw me a like, and I will see you tomorrow with some World Event teams. Have a good one. Bye-bye.